creepy and weird. Sluts selling butts, them buttholes never sold. Dogs breeding like bugs, or rabbits or coat hangers. Killers killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 Oh. Where'd all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. 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 News.
All right, here we go. And making up for the attempt last night or other night. I guess it counts as other night now. I don't know. Anyway, well, it didn't come together. That stream's still up, but of course I was over on Pat's stream. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. What a weird mishmash thing that turned out to be. I'll leave it up. But anyway, this, I promise, is the real Nailsin News Live for sex, murder, politics, and rocks. And yes, as I believe I did get a chance to explain, there's more than one rock. It's all one story, but it's that. It's a couple of stories I've decided not to deal with. But anyway, there's plenty there. Really awful people, some not so much, and others, all suspects are considered innocent until proven guilty. But once again, I'm horribly exhausted. I didn't get hardly any sleep this time around, and ended up doing the Doomcock show, and stayed a lot longer than I thought I could handle. But after a while, I was like, ooh, and I had to take a nap, which I don't like doing because it messes with my sleep schedule. So, anticipating this, I did work on the Nailsin News show. So, yes, it's pre-taped. But I'll be here. I'll be here checking in. But anyway, I fixed it all up with break segments and stuff like that. So it's all nifty, fancy free, and fruity fresh, all that stuff. But going forward, I'm really going to have to rein in my ability to sit on live streams that, 3 hours is going to have to be the limit. I do pay a price for that. In the meantime, there's a lot of control over things like this. I was tempted to join Pat's show, but he had his interview with Adam Bush, and I didn't want to mess with that because they're having pretty good conversation there for what I could pay attention to, because I had to work on other stuff. I worked on New York Post stories, which will be on the New York Crime Report, New York City Crime Report over at Censor TV. It's Compound Censor TV now. And you can use the promo code Dixon if you're not a subscriber already. And even if you are, you could still do it retroactively and get that lovely discount. So that'll be there. I did put that together and worked on the Nailsin Show. Still got to do a little few things there for the latest episode of Sun King, and that'll be on that. So, I got a lot of stuff done. Worked on some Nailsin ratings videos. Time permitting, I probably will run that for a live stream later tonight. With me popping in and saying, hey. Eventually, I think I'll hopefully, if I'm up for it, for like over the weekend, maybe Saturday, something like that, do some drawing streams and working on the Doodleverse comic book, which is going to feature an alien parody. I think I've shown a little bit of that, but it's an alien parody featuring Dabbleverse characters. Steel Toe's in it, Mersh is in it, Karmic's in it. Stuff like that. So putting that together and pretty soon just gonna put it all together and ship that off to the printer, and soon that'll be available at my store, which I need to promote that again. I gotta remember to do that every stream. So probably when this is all over with, I'll come in and say, hey, let's take a look at that. Yeah, because that never gets old. No, me, selling my comic books and talking like they're the shiz is, Yeah. So anyway, do enjoy these stories. Oh, boy, and think about it this way, Sure, they're terrible. These are horrible people for the most part. Some of them are just, stupid and all that. But take some amount of solace in the reality that you're not one of them. See, that's the plus side. That's right. Nodak says, hit the like button. Good idea, Nodak. It's always a good idea. Mr. Nailsin says, wait a minute, that's me. But Mr. Nailsin says, supertip.gg/Doug. Oh, yes. You can head over there. There's some voices there. You can use those. Those are always a riot. And provided there's any, I will play them. At this point at the end of the show. But nevertheless, yes, I will play the super tip. I added Night Night, Boobo, and James Mason, although I named him Mason James. I kind of dropped the ball on those, in my opinion, but, you can try those out. There's plenty of others. There's me, of course, and Pat, and then there's all these other little characters that are available in the Super Tip system, and you can check that out at your leisure, should you feel so inclined to toss some love towards your pal, Mr. Nailsin. Then, of course, there's Rumble Rants. There's, PayPal. Let's reach the goal. Anyway, Nodak says, we hear you. Yes, it is working. I managed to put that together, and I think I've at least figured it out on the Rumble end. But anyway, any weird news? It's always weird to some degree. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just weird how some of these, the sad thing is there's quite a few that it could have been so easily avoided. And there's a lot of aspects through law enforcement and whatnot, not law enforcement itself, but the prosecutorial elements of it. All these people, they don't deserve that many second, third, fourth, fifth chances. And then now someone's dead. There's a couple of those, or seriously injured and whatnot. When some people belong in a cage, because they just hurt people, or even kill them. So, yeah, but weird. You know what? That reminds me, because of my Mr. Nailsin podcast, which always flowed like a podcast of podcasts. So I did these, like Nailsin News came out of that. Of course, Night Night and Sun King and that sort of thing. But another one I did was all about paranormal and supernatural stuff. So I called it Perhaps, but Maybe Not. I need to collect a couple of stories and do a live stream on that. I don't know how to do the setup. I guess I could have the little logo on the back on the thing there. And, have that kind of playing. It's got like this cloud motif thing to it. Anyway, could probably do something like that. That might be fun. Don't know if, of course, it'd be really cool for like October and Halloween time. Definitely got to do, but hopefully before that too. But, once I get it, up and running and rolling and I figure it out and not screw up, I'm going to screw it up. That's going to happen. But once I've, hammered out all the knots and whatnot, then it should be in good shape for next October, which is Halloween month to me. Is it for you? Yeah. So anyway, that's the dealio. That's what we'll do. And do enjoy. A. Thompson asks, how many more hours until monetized? Of course, he only cares about YouTube. I am monetized on Rumble, but it's a problem. Boo-hoo. All right, it is now at 2,670 valid public watch hours. So, getting there. Gee, will they monetize me once I reach it? Well, I guess we'll find out. So hurry up and get monetized. What do you think I'm doing right now? You think I got time on my hands for everything? No, I don't. I'm not going to do a karmic and just sit here getting drunk, crying and screaming. Night after night, 48 hours run. I mean, I would die on screen, sure. It would be spectacular, I suppose. But it's like Daffy Duck, I can only do it once. So that wouldn't solve anything. Hey, look, you're monetized. So? I'm gone. Yeah. So let's not do that. Hey, Thompson, I have a super sticker with your name on it. Okay, anyway, sit there and OD on Ozempic and get crazy. No. I'm a responsible man. All right, I didn't get really responsible till my late 40s, but still, I'm a responsible man and a professional. Yeah. So anyway, let's get to the news. News. Come on, it's a cool little tune, isn't it? I wrote the words. It's an A, so I guess I didn't know to tell you that. You know. Everybody knows I'm a fraud. But don't ever say it. If you're going to say it to my face. Ooh. Okay, as promised, the news.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Man who drove nearly 40 miles with body of legless pedestrian upside down in the passenger seat learns his fate. Wow. A Texas man who slammed into a pedestrian, causing the victim to fly through the windshield before driving nearly 40 miles with the body next to him, is headed to prison. Nestor Lujan Flores was sentenced to 15 years behind bars after he pled guilty to intoxication manslaughter and collision involving death. Lujan Flores, then 31, was driving on December 16, 2023, along the westbound I-30 service road in Dallas when he hit the pedestrian. Evidence showed the impact was so severe, the victim was thrown into the vehicle. Portions of the victim's remains were later recovered at the crash site. An arrest affidavit obtained by local ABC affiliate WFAA said the body was found upside down in the seat with the victim's head on the floorboard and his legs missing. Police in White Settlement said in a news release that officers were called to a Jack in the Box restaurant in the 8700 block of Interstate Highway 30 Service Road. The caller said a gray Kia Forte had extensive front end and hood damage, along with a shattered windshield. A man also appeared slumped over the steering wheel. Yeah, you're kind of missing another element here, though. Yeah. Well, anyway, an officer arrived and realized there was also a dead person in the passenger seat. Now, that's great detective work, you know. The officer removed Lujan Flores from the car. White Settlement Police Chief Christopher Cook told reporters the man was confused and claimed he thought he had hit an animal. Paramedics responded and pronounced the passenger dead. The car had been parked at the restaurant parking lot for 2 or 3 hours before someone called 911. Police were initially uncertain where the actual crash occurred, but the Dallas County Sheriff's Office the next morning discovered a crash scene on the westbound service road of Interstate Highway 30 near Cockrell Hill Road. Sheriff's Office investigators found human remains at the crash site that belonged to the victim found in the restaurant parking lot. So I'm guessing those were the legs. Lujan Flores hit the pedestrian and proceeded to drive 38 miles to the restaurant. He never called police. Well, he really wanted some Jack in the Box, I guess. I don't know. The Dallas County Sheriff's Office handled the investigation since the crash happened in that jurisdiction. Officials did not publicly identify the victim. The suspect has a previous conviction in Diddy 1 for, can you guess? Yes, that's right. Driving while intoxicated in Collin County. The Plano Police Department arrested him on the same charge in Diddy. Yeah. Yes, let me guess he's been driving all this time with no driver's license, right? I would assume. Well, this case is a stark reminder of the devastation caused by impaired driving, Dallas County District Attorney John Cruzat said in a statement. That's right, John. It is. The victim lost his life, and the family was forever changed. This sentence reflects the seriousness of the defendant's actions and holds him accountable for the harm he caused. Seems like it could have been avoided, though, you know? Yeah. But, well, they got him now, huh? Yeah, he's, what is he, 30? He was 31 at the time. Yeah. So, he's 34 now with 15 years. All right, 49. Still able to drive and drink. So, what did we learn?
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. This is your ass. This is your ass in prison. Any questions? This has been a public service announcement reminding you that if you do the crime, you will do the time. Hard time. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Man claimed he loved his girlfriend despite nearly chopping her head off and leaving the body to rot for days on the porch after she pushed him too far. Well, you know, the thin line between love and hate, all that, I guess. Anyway, a 46-year-old Montana man is headed to prison for the rest of his life after he nearly decapitated his girlfriend because she pushed him too far and then wrapped her body in blankets and left her on a porch to rot. Yeah, and blankets, you know, to keep her warm and all that. Anyway, Shane Levi Cole Roberts was sentenced to 85 years in prison for the for death of 52-year-old Jenna Ray Lacombe in Billings. Robert pled guilty to deliberate homicide. Yeah, there's really no way he could say, look, it was an accident. No, I don't think so. Anyway, prosecutors laid out much of their findings in the 4-hour sentencing hearing. Cops responded on August 24th, 2024, after neighbors complained about a smell coming from a nearby apartment. Officers arrived to find a body on the porch wrapped in blankets, towels, and a shower curtain. They went inside to find Roberts hiding in a closet with a dog. He was taken into custody. That being Roberts. The dog, I don't know, maybe a neighbor took custody of him, I don't know. A coroner reportedly determined Lacombe suffered numerous stab wounds, including one that nearly caused decapitation. The evidence Roberts left behind was plentiful, namely photos on his phone showing his girlfriend's bloodied body in a bathtub dated about 9 days before her remains were discovered. Cops also discovered 2 bloodied knives, a hatchet, and hammer. Boy, he's really lazy about cleaning stuff up, huh? Maybe that's what the argument was about. I don't know. Then there was the phone call he made to his mother after he was placed inside the Yellowstone County Jail, where he reportedly admitted to killing Lacombe, saying she pushed him too far. Yeah, you know they record those phone calls. You know that, don't you? Well, they do. Anyway, prosecutors and Robert's defense attorney agreed to a 70-year prison term, but Judge Colette Davies tacked on 15 years to the sentence. Well, good for her. You know? Jeez. Apparently Davies said, I'm told that you love this woman. But this is not love. This is abomination. Yes. Yes. Finally, a judge with some sense, you know. So Lacombe was a mother of 2, according to her obituary. In addition to her role as a devoted mother, Jenna cherished her hobbies. She was talented in arts and crafts, particularly painting and beading. She also had a passion for cooking, with her chicken noodle soup and pork chop chili. Pork chop chili? Well, yeah, I guess you can do. Yeah. Anyway, being family favorites, Jenna's love for 80s music filled her home with dancing, even if her sons did so begrudgingly. You know, oh, Mom. Yeah, that's the deal, but at least, you know, it's a terrible case, really horrific, and good Lord. But at least there was a good judge on this one. Hey, let's make a deal. We'll give... No! I'm going to tack on an extra 15. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, again, it's a terrible, horrible story, but at least there's some amount of justice here.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Man who chucked a rock. No, I'm not doing the woodchuck chuck now. Man who chucked a rock at a school bus and fractured 8-year-old skull has done it before. How many stories do we have? A New Jersey man was arrested days after an 8-year-old girl suffered a fractured skull when a rock hit the school bus she was riding in. Hernando Garcia Morales, 40, was charged with aggravated assault, possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, endangering the welfare of a child, criminal mischief, resisting arrest by flight, and hindering. Police said Garcia Morales was connected to an incident that took place on the afternoon of January 7th. 2026, when a school bus carrying children northbound on the New Jersey Turnpike in Teaneck Township, New Jersey, was struck by a rock the size of a baseball. An 8-year-old passenger was hit in the head when the rock broke through the glass window of the bus, causing her severe injuries, including a fractured skull that required surgery. Local ABC affiliate WABC reported that the bus was on its way back to the Yeshivat Gnome School. Yeah, I never could figure out how to pronounce it. I apologize. After a third-grade field trip to the Liberty Science Center in Jersey City. The girl is expected to recover. No other students or adults are reported injured. Police said they found Garcia Morales at a self-made campsite within Bergen County, where the alleged incident took place. After his arrest, police said further investigation found that Garcia Morales was connected to multiple rock-throwing incidents in the county. Further details about those alleged incidents were not provided. Garcia Morales is being held at the Bergen County Jail pending a detention hearing. Yeah. So it would be interesting to see what the other details were other people injured, and more slaps on the wrist, you know. Judging by his mugshot with the missing tooth, perhaps a rock flew and hit him in the face and he lost his tooth. And now he rages at the world. If I can't have my tooth, neither can you! But of course, you broke a child's skull. Yeah, you slap him with attempted murder charges, you know? Come on. Get serious. The guy likes to throw rocks at vehicles. Even school buses. Yeah, no, they're gonna let him out.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
You may have noticed you don't hear from Tarzan much these days. Well, turns out his pet chimp, Cheetah, was really jealous. And one day he caught Tarzan fucking Jane. Cheetah freaked out and took liberties with Tarzan's anatomy. Cheetah relieved Tarzan of his sack with his foot. Yeah, the fact that he used his foot was an extra fuck you from Cheetah. Anyway, Tarzan ordered an elephant to stomp Cheetah, but the damage was done. Jane left him for a witch doctor. It's all sad.
And now it's time for the world's greatest superheroes band together as friends to justice. They are the Best Friends. Early one morning at the Hall of Superdom. No better way to start the day than a nice view of the sweetest cheeks on earth.
Yeah, I hear you, best man. Maid of honor sure makes it easy to rise and shine.
Hey, watch your mouth, Pool Man. My admiration for my girlfriend's assets is not an invitation to your crude, sleazy commentary. And by the way, I can smell the beer sweating through your pores. I'm sick and tired of having to deal with your slacking off around here. We're superheroes, damn it! How are we supposed to maintain a stellar reputation when one of us passes out or poops his pants on occasion?
I don't know.
You don't know, huh? Well, I do. Either you get your act together, or I'll give you the boot. A team operates with teamwork, and I can't have a member of my team face down in a pile of his own puke in the middle of a crisis. Are you listening? You understand me?
Yeah, I understand, man. I'm sorry.
Yes, you are sorry, Pool Man. The trick here is for you to stop being sorry and be a man who can stand tall in his tights. Hey, what is it, Wingman? General Wilcox is on the horn. Says he's got a mission for us. Can Pool Man overcome his addiction? Will Best Man trust him to be able to perform on the team for General Wilcox's mission? And just what is said mission? Find out in the next exciting episode of Best Friends. Best Friends is a Nailsin production. All characters are written and performed by me, Douglas Nailsin, with music by Kevin MacLeod and other public domain sources. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Man vows to end ICE agent and his kids. Makes posts about wanting to kill them all and calls Department of Homeland Security the New Age Gestapo. Where have we heard this before? A New York man has been indicted for threatening to assault and murder a federal law enforcement officer employed by the Department of Homeland Security and his family on social media, saying things like, "I can't wait to put a bullet into this guy's brain. But first, his children," according to the Justice Department. He also allegedly posted about attacking random ICE agents. "Kill them all! ICE is the New Age Gestapo," posted Matthew White, 43, on X in April. Understand that if your ICE agents don't show proof of identity and a signed warrant, we will kill them, White allegedly said. Yeah, I don't think that's in the law, you know. A federal grand jury indicted White with charges of threatening to assault and murder a federal law enforcement officer and interstate communication with threat to injure a person. White specifically talked about targeting a DHS officer whose picture he posted online with the statement about putting a bullet in this guy's brain. "This guy needs to be tied up," he allegedly added. Multiple statements in the complaint and press releases sent out by the DOJ and ICE officials have been linked to White, who is from Jamestown. He was arrested following an investigation, but wasn't indicted until now. On April 30th, HSI Buffalo personnel learned that an X account believed to be operated by White was publicly posting threats to federal immigration agents and administrators employed by the Department of Homeland Security. White voluntarily spoke with investigators and allowed them to extract the contents of his phone.
Investigators recovered a number of threatening posts on X. White's statements, according to the federal complaint, included claims that he will die trying to fight for democracy, and I will kill an ICE agent. He said he was willing to engage in civil law, per the complaint. "Let's play, bitch," White allegedly wrote. "Your agents are in danger if they don't start showing identification and signed warrants." Gee, I wonder where he got that idea from, you know. If the Trump administration doesn't have to follow laws, then neither do the American citizens. Game on. He is following the law. You aren't. White's X account was still active as of Sunday, with his handle being at Matthew WHI 17466, according to federal prosecutors. He has shared a GoFundMe that was launched to secure legal support. Now, he'll probably get it. He'll get some money from these nuts. The actual content has been misconstrued and manipulated, the GoFundMe says. No one should have to serve prison time for having a bad day and vocalizing intrusive thoughts. You were pretty specific, dumbass. Yeah. So he'll get his trial, and they'll probably determine, hey, he didn't mean it. Yeah. But, I don't know, Mr. White. It was pretty specific and rather detailed. And we've already had several incidents of people acting on this crap that people push out there about, hey, that officer's wearing a mask. I now have a right to shoot him. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. But he said, hey, he's just some guy blowing out steam. He doesn't mean it. And then the next guy does. So how do you know? You say, yeah, you got to take this seriously. And yeah, you're going to go through the hassle of jail and trial and all that. And it's all your fault. Plus, the idiots who stirred the shit to get this result and even more.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Man, cops plea in creepy GPS tracker case. The Florida man who sought to engineer a supposed chance run-in with a woman by hiding a GPS tracker on a car has copped a plea deal. In a court hearing, Tyler Strack, 23, pled no contest to installing the device on the 22-year-old victim's vehicle while it was parked outside her residence in Safety Harbor, a Tampa Bay area city. Strack was initially charged with a felony, but he pled to a reduced misdemeanor charge. He was ordered to pay fines and court costs totaling around $700, a portion of which he would reduce by performing community service at a rate of $14 an hour. Huh. I wonder what the community service is. Picking up trash or something. I don't know. At the time of Strack's arrest, the victim told police that she had a brief sexual relationship with him several years ago, which ended with no further substantial contact. Good Lord. And he's been obsessing over this woman all this time. She probably doesn't even really, she's like, oh, that guy? In an apparent effort to rekindle that rekindle? It was a one-night stand. Whoa. Yeah, this is a problem. So in an effort to rekindle that passing flame, Strack bought a Cube brand tracker from Best Buy. Yes, all stalkers go to Best Buy for that. And he placed the device on the woman's car. But the victim discovered the item and contacted police, who then used subpoenas to connect Strack to the Cube purchase. When confronted by investigators, Strack confessed, saying he installed the tracker in an attempt to, quote-unquote, run into the victim. So he's saying, oh man, what are the odds? We've got to stop meeting like this. Hey, can I buy you a coffee? An arrest affidavit listed Strack's employer as Chipotle, probably former employer at this point, and his LinkedIn page identifies him as an assistant manager with the restaurant chain. Well, he hung up on reporters seeking comment about his plea in the criminal case. Yeah, we just wanted to know the details. What community service are you going to do, Tyler? Yeah. Hey, maybe the best outcome here is he learns his lesson and you just gotta move on. There's plenty of fish in the sea and all that. You better keep your eye on this one. That's, oh yeah, he's really hung up on this lady. Oh, jeez. Well, there you go. One night stands, you know. Sometimes they follow you, you know. Yeah.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Ooh-wee. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, my so tired. Been on my feet all day, cutting hair and shaving beards. But it's all good, because now I can sit back and relax and listen to the Rob Saul Show. Yeah. It's like I'm snuggling up all night with Rob Saul. Ooh, I'm bad. Oh, bad Stanley. Oh, bad Stanley. Oh. I just needed a little spanking because I was being bad. But you know, sometimes I feel like Rob Saul's bad too. And one day, Rob, I'm gonna find you and give you your spanking. Oh, I'm so bad. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm bad. I'm so bad. Oh.
Most people believe that Captain Hook got his name from having his hand cut off by Peter Pan and replacing it with a hook. Turns out his name was already Captain Hook before this. You see, Hook had Peyronie's disease. It's a condition where one's dick is deformed and takes on a shape not unlike a hook. Yeah, he had to fuck butt to butt, which didn't work out so great. Plus, masturbation was just a clumsy mess.
And now it's time for the world's greatest superheroes band together as friends to justice. They are the Best Friends.
Hey,
What is it, Wingman?
General Wilcox is on the horn. Says he's got a mission for us.
And soon, several members of the Best Friends, including Best Man, Wingman, Poolman, Maid of Honor, Dynamofo, and Rocket Man, are assembled in the operations room of the Hall of Superdom. Best Friends, we need your help. It appears one of our oil rig platforms in the Gulf of Mexico is currently under attack by a giant sea serpent. Oh, great. Another ocean job. Damn it, it takes forever to get the stench of seawater out of my tights. But wait a minute. Pool Man,
What is your element? This mission is right up your alley. Plus, your suit is made of rubber.
Yeah, that's right, Dynamofo.
Yes, you make a good point there, Dynamofo. Very well, Pullman, this mission is yours. However, upon your return, I'll expect an in-depth analytical report on the entirety of the mission.
Yeah, all right.
And soon, Pullman is streaking across the surface of the Gulf of Mexico on his jet ski.
Damn stupid best man, always putting me down in front of everybody, especially maid of honor. Asshole. I mean, maid of honor might see me differently if Best Turd wasn't messing me up all the time. Damn it.
But then, upon arrival at the imperiled oil platform, Pullman finds his fellow best friend, Medicine Man, has already engaged the giant sea serpent. By using the mystical powers of his ancient ancestors, Medicine Man has assumed his giant form.
What the hell? What's Medicine Man doing here? How do you even know to come here in the first place? Oh, wait a minute. Damn it. Best Man did it to me again. Hey, Medicine Man.
Pullman, didn't notice you there.
Yeah, hey, good job with the big snake there. I guess I'll go down below and check on any damage done to the drilling apparatus.
Oh, yeah, sure. Good idea. And so, Pullman dives down in the depths of the water to inspect the oil platform's drilling apparatus.
Dumb village people looking, well, yeah, it ain't Medicine Man's fault. It's Best Man. He always undercutting me. Undercutting my own job here. How the hell am I supposed to prove my goodness if he's gonna be undercutting me? I just gotta wrap this up. It doesn't look like it did much damage to it. It just wrapped around it. Wait a minute, what's that? It looks like a pile of... It is! It's a pile of giant eggs! Oh my God! She's just a mother protecting her young. I gotta get back to the surface and tell Medicine Man before he does any more harm.
But as Pullman reaches the surface...
Hey, Medicine Man! It's all a misunderstanding. She's just trying to protect her babies down below.
What's that, Pullman? I couldn't hear you over the screams and struggles of the serpent's exploding head.
Oh my God!
Oh no. How will Pullman react to Medicine Man's gruesome solution to the sea serpent attack? Find out in the next exciting episode of Best Friends.
Best Friends is a Nailsin production. All characters are written and performed by me, Douglas Nelson, with music by Kevin MacLeod and other public domain sources. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Woman whacked child with wooden paddle she dubbed the Attitude Adjuster and left him out in the cold for not putting his clothes away properly. A West Virginia woman is facing child abuse charges for beating a boy with a wooden paddle that she called the Attitude Adjuster and doing other heinous things to him, like kicking the youth in the privates and leaving him outside in the freezing cold. Courtney Kreitz, 32, of Bellington, was arrested after a local child advocacy center conducted an investigation into the alleged abuse after police were notified. Advocates spoke to 5 children who were said to be living with Kreitz at a home she shared with her boyfriend. The interviews were taped and shown to police investigators who filed 3 counts of felony child abuse against Kreitz. During the interviews, police observed the male juvenile to state that Miss Kreitz had kicked him, hit him, and screamed at him. The boy advised that Miss Kreitz kicked him in the privates once, approximately 2 months ago. The child said that when he did not put his clothes away the right way, she would use the paddle that she dubbed the attitude adjuster to punish him. On one occasion, Kreitz pushed him outside in the freezing cold, eventually letting him back in before striking him with the paddle, breaking it. Good Lord. The boy described the injuries sustained from being hit as bruises on his shoulder, chest, and back, and that the bruises lasted for a couple of months. The boy continued to advise that when Miss Kreitz would get mad, she would walk past him and kick him. The child allegedly told investigators that he was scared to death of Kreitz after she broke the paddle by hitting him with it. He described the wooden board as being approximately 2 inches by 4 inches and roughly 2 feet in length. The relationship between the boy and Kreitz is unclear. Police say the woman resides with the other minor children and victim at their home in Barber County. Kreitz is currently being held at the Tygart Valley Regional Jail with her bond set at $100,000. So, she's not even the mother of this kid? Is the boyfriend the father? And what's the deal with the other kids? Are those her kids and she doesn't accept the boy? Or are the other kids girls and she's got a problem with the boy, being a boy? That could be the case, too. Ooh. Okay, she's a monster. Yeah.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
Lawyer husband still married to cheating ex-teacher who had sex with a 17-year-old student in their bed. What the hell? Former high school teacher McKenna Kindred is still married and living in a new state with her lawyer husband nearly 2 years after she admitted to cheating on him with a 17-year-old student in their bed. McKenna Kindred, who previously taught at Central Valley High School in Spokane Valley, Washington, confessed in March 2024 to sneaking the teenager into her home and having sex with him while her husband, Kyle Kindred, was away on hunting trips. Despite the betrayal, Kyle has stuck by his wife's side, refusing to divorce her and even moving into a brand new home together in Idaho. Oh, look, it's a cute picture of McKenna going, whoopsie, oopsie, while she sits on a bed. Yeah. The pair previously lived in a $1 million home in a rural area south of Spokane, where Kyle's parents were listed as the owners. Okay. But jointly bought a house in Kuna, Idaho for $498,000 in June 2024. Yeah, you got to start over and get a new fresh start when your wife cheats on you with her 17-year-old lover. 3 months after she sobbed in court as she pled guilty to the sex crimes. The 4-bedroom, 2,636 square foot home is in a sleepy development within commuting distance of Boise, where Kyle has worked as a real estate lawyer at Holland & Hart since August 2024. His profile on the firm's website describes him as an avid outdoorsman, fly fisherman, college basketball fanatic. Yeah. I mean, you do all this stuff to get away from her, and yet you're going to keep her? Anyway, it's not clear if McKenna is working any job since she was forced to resign from her previous teaching gig. Yeah. Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah, right. She was probed by the Idaho Standards Commission over her teaching license, which she voluntarily gave up in response. Yeah. The teacher's inappropriate relationship with the 17-year-old student began in June when the minor discovered her Instagram account, and the two began messaging each other. Sometime in November that year, McKenna, then 23, and the student had sex inside her home while her husband was on a hunting trip. Oh, McKenna, what's the deal? I got a picture of the couple. They're outdoors. It's lovely. And what the hell is he wearing? He's got, what is that, slippers? Outside? Purple slippers with this fluffy white fringe on it. The teen's friends shared screenshots of the racy messages, of course, with school officials in December 2022, as rumors about the relationship began to spread around the school. Spread by who? I wonder who could have... Oh, yeah. I wanted you to be in my room, one of the messages said. When other girls talked about you in my class, I could feel myself getting mad, she said in another text. I really like being touched by you, she texted the teen. Was she not getting touched by the husband? In his purple fluffy slippers? Mm-hmm. Investigators spoke to the teen, who admitted to having sex with her in her home and exchanging sexually explicit videos. McKenna broke down in tears and apologized to the victim and his family. As a result of my actions, I've lost my career, valuable friendships, freedoms, and have let down countless people who place their trust in me, she said in the court in a prepared statement. Yeah. She avoided jail time. How? Okay. And was sentenced to 2 years of probation, handed $700 in fines and fees in order to register as a sex offender for 10 years. Yeah. Well, she's cute and all, but, oh boy, she's really into her cuteness. And then, of course, the high school boys and all that. And I mean, she's 23, but still, sometimes, unless it's, the teacher's got to go back to being old bags and stuff, You can't throw oh man, but the infantilization of people, and there she is. I still want to be the popular girl in school and all that. And she's mad at the other girls. I wonder if she failed some of the girls in the class because she felt threatened by them. Stuff like that, Oh, jeez. Ah, man. What a mess. This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. And now it's time for
the world's greatest superheroes, band together as friends to justice. They are the best friends. Later, at the Hall of Superdom, within the break room of said Hall of Superdom, we find Best Man, Maid of Honor, and Fireman deep in discussion. Unwell souls, since that kid trying to copy my fire powers set himself on fire, well, of course, a lot of fire departments throughout the nation would appreciate it if I stop wearing the fire helmet as part of my fireman outfit. Now, they also wanted me to change my name, Fireman, but I mean, fire powers is what I've got, so what else am I going to call myself? So, as a compromise, yes, I no longer wear the fireman's helmet as part of my outfit. I just wear the mask. Well, that's something there, Fireman.
Hey guys.
Rocket Man, what is it?
Oh, you're all needed in the operations room.
And soon, once again, in the operations room, up on the large monitor screen, the assembled best friends bear witness to something terrible happening at the oil platform in the Gulf of Mexico. It appears Pool Man has become enraged at Medicine Man, and, using his watery powers, has formed a giant water creature to do battle with Medicine Man. Damn him, I should have known. Even when I provide a chaperone, I still can't trust Pool Man to do a simple mission of taking care of a giant sea serpent. Oh boy, alright, we gotta deal with it. And soon, Fireman, Maid of Honor, and Best Man can be seen flying over the skies of Gulf of Mexico. And upon their arrival, they see still Pool Man using his giant water monster to battle Medicine Man. Alright, gang. Fireman, use your fire powers to turn that giant water monster of Pool Man's into a cloud of steam. Maid of Honor, you use your healing powers to tend to Medicine Man's injuries. And as Pool Man drops to the platform below, well, I'll deal with him. And soon, the best friends go into action. Fireman swoops down and aims for the center of Pool Man's water monster. With a single blast of flaming plasma, the water creature is suddenly reduced to a giant cloud of steam. And soon, Pool Man, no longer within his giant water creature, plummets down to the platform.
What the hell's going on? Damn it, Fireman!
Will Pool Man finally learn his lesson? And what about the sea serpent? Well, it's dead. But what about that? Perhaps we'll find out in the next exciting episode of Best Friends.
Best Friends is a Nailsin production. All characters are written and performed by me, Douglas Nelson, with music by Kevin MacLeod and other public domain sources.
It's said that King Arthur was Britain's greatest ruler. Well, he got the throne by pulling a sword out of a rock. This gave him a massive hernia. He turned to Merlin, but eating rat tails and rubbing frog guts all over will not cure a hernia. Anyway, he couldn't fuck all that well on account of his condition. So his wife turned to Lancelot. Yeah, he hired a guy named Lancelot to guard his horny wife. So Lancelot lanced her, a lot. Meanwhile, Arthur got seduced by his sister, and their inbred offspring did him in. It's all sad if not so stupid. Still, though, Britain would be better off with a ruler like Arthur today.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeReber under investigation for inappropriate relationship with an employee.
Labor Secretary Lori Chavez Reamer is under an internal investigation following an explosive complaint alleging she's been abusing her position by pursuing an inappropriate relationship with a subordinate. Chavez Reamer, 57, has welcomed her alleged paramour at least 3 times to her D.C. apartment and twice into her hotel room while traveling. Alleges a complaint filed with the Department of Labor's Office of Inspector General, which has since begun a probe. The former Oregon Congresswoman is also accused of drinking in her office during the workday and committing travel fraud by having her chief of staff and deputy chief of staff make up official trips to destinations where Chavez Reamer can spend time with family or friends on the taxpayer's dime. White House spokeswoman Taylor Rogers called the allegations baseless. Secretary Chavez Reamer is an incredible asset to President Trump's team, and she will continue advancing the president's America First agenda, Rogers said in a statement. Sources also accused her of being a boss from hell by forcing aides to run personal errands or perform her menial tasks while on the clock. Chavez Reamer Chief of Staff Juhan Han and Deputy Chief of Staff Rebecca Wright, whom the complaint alleges are involved and had knowledge of these issues, are all now under investigation by the Department of Labor's Office of Inspector General. These unsubstantiated allegations are categorically false, said Department of Labor spokesperson Courtney Perella. But you're investigating. Well, the Inspector General, I guess, is independent, so okay. So Secretary of Chavez Reamer has complied with all ethics rules and department policies and remains fully engaged in carrying out the department's work on behalf of this historic administration. The Secretary is considering all possible avenues, including legal action, to fight these baseless accusations from anonymous sources. A spokesperson for the Department of Labor's Inspector General offices, which is run by former New York GOP Representative Anthony Desposito, said, "It is the policy of the Department of Labor Office of Inspector General, sorry. She remains, where I'm all at, unsubstantiated. The spokesperson for the DO Inspector General's office is run by Esposito, as the Department of Inspector General, to neither confirm nor deny the existence or non-existence of any Inspector General investigation or complaint beyond what is published on our website. Inspector General remains committed to rooting out fraud, waste, abuse, and corruption through objective, independent oversight of the U.S. Department of Labor." All right, that's Esposito's take on it. 2 purported meetups between Chavez Reamer and her alleged affair partner took place in September after the mom of 2 told her security detail that protection wasn't needed. A third alleged visit occurred at the same D.C. apartment in October when the man waited until the agents protecting the secretary went home before driving over. The subordinate allegedly entangled with the secretary told the Post, "I got lawyers, so I'm not going to talk to you. I have nothing to say." He declined to provide his lawyer's contact information. Chavez Reamer and the staffer traveled together to the Red Rocks Casino Resort and Spa in Las Vegas late October to celebrate her niece's 40th birthday party while the federal government was shut down. The complaint said that additional video footage from the hotel shows the pair engaging in unprofessional behavior on at least 2 trips in Vegas in 2025. The Post has not seen the alleged footage. When word of the alleged misconduct began circulating in the department, Chavez Reamer instructed her chief of staff, Han, to leave it alone. The complaint also described Chavez Reamer drinking in her office, which references to a stash of champagne, bourbon, and Kahlua that she keeps there. In 2025, the Department of Labor spent hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars for the secretary to visit 37 states and more than 50 official trips. At least 10 of those visits were to Nevada, or locations where she has personal ties, including her home state of Oregon, Arizona, where she and her anesthesiologist husband have a home that's listed as a primary residence in mortgage documents, and Michigan, where her daughter resides. There's not an ounce of truth to this, and anyone who knows my wife would know that, said Chavez DeReamer's husband, Dr. Sean DeReamer. In November alone, the Labor Secretary went on 5 trips, 3 of which were listed in her own travel schedules as personal, and included stops in Michigan, Oregon, and California. While on office travel, Chavez DeReamer will speak for 30 minutes to an hour and then does personal stuff and goes out drinking at night on the government's dime. The New York Post was unable to provide any evidence to corroborate these baseless claims in this report, supposedly filed by a former disgruntled employee. Rogers from the White House said in a statement. Additionally, they were unable to present any evidence that this report was ever even filed. Reporting on these allegations without any evidence to back them is basic journalistic malpractice. Chavez DeReamer did not respond to a request for comment. During her failed 2024 House re-election bid, Chavez DeReamer splurged on more than $56,000 on luxury hotels and $4,345 on limo and chauffeur services. Yeah, but was that her money or like her campaign's money? But taxpayer money? Such use of campaign funds are not prohibited by federal law, and Chavez DeReamer was not accused of violating election laws. All right, so this is irrelevant to the story. There's not a lot to go on here. Did she have an affair? Maybe, but that's the least of the problem other than him being a subordinate. The least of it, it's bad for the marriage, and it's unbecoming. But it's the traveling around on taxpayers' dime. Now, granted, the amount listed here is nothing compared to what Democrats have done for decades with taxpayer money. But nevertheless, that in and of itself, that's, termination. But there's nothing really to it. Then, hey, this might be a waste of time to look at.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin. This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
An NYPD rookie cop's raunchy OnlyFans account exposed as disgusted officers demand firing. The department's Internal Affairs Bureau is probing a rookie Queens officer who bared every inch of her naked body in pornographic images she posted on her OnlyFans account. She could be fired for the indecent exposure. Police Officer Dana Patino, who works in the 110th Precinct in Elmhurst and became a cop in April 2025, appears in dozens of raunchy snaps exposing her most intimate areas, getting frisky with an unidentified lady friend. Well, whoops. Bettino gets cheeky in other snaps. Yeah, pushing her derriere dangerously close to the camera. She should be immediately terminated from this job, said a disgusted NYPD source. There's no place in this department for that.
We are paramilitary, and we have to have some kind of standard to be a police officer. Law enforcement expert said Bettino, 28, who previously worked as a fire department and emergency medical technician, is on a standard 2-year probation for new cops. Whoops. She needs to get out of the department, another NYPD source said. She shouldn't be on the job. The heavily tattooed, raven-haired, belly-ringed Bettino. Boy, you really studied the images. Her site was Gaines W. Bettino / that couple after midnight. Don't bother, she took it down. In the last few days after fellow finest began sharing images. Yes. But a source familiar with the case said the police officer created the account before she joined the NYPD. It wasn't clear when she made her last post. Oh, okay. Some OnlyFans models make thousands of dollars a week through subscriptions on the site where users pay a fee for access. Yeah, that's probably the motive. Models can also make money through live interactive sessions and receive tips. The starting salary for a new NYPD police officer is $60,884. And depending on how many subscribers you get on OnlyFans, you could do better than that. Applicants to the force must fill out a form disclosing all forms of income. A retired high-ranking source said it's unclear how much she made on the platform. Failure to disclose all ways that you made money should be sufficient reason to terminate, the source said. I would be shocked if she made zero money. Do you have to actually make nothing? What if it's just a few $100 a month, you know? I don't know. I guess, according to this guy, I guess you still have to declare it. Anyway, critics also wondered why the raunchy content was discovered during the NYPD's candidates' vetting process, which includes extensive background and social media checks. If we can find it, why didn't the investigators find it? The first police source asked. She shouldn't have gotten through. She should have been disqualified just for that. Well, maybe some of the people in the higher-ups are fans of, her OnlyFans. Anyway, because she is a probationary officer, she could also be terminated based on conduct unbecoming of an officer. A fireable offense. The police unit defended her, pointing out that she didn't break the law. Yes, but she did break the policy. So it's the probationary period. Plus, if this is true about what did she make and she didn't declare it, double whammy there. If she didn't do anything illegal or anything that impacts her ability to perform her duties, then it's nobody's business but her own. Again, the policy. I mean, they got her. They really do. Police Benevolent Police Benevolent Association President Pat Hendricks said it's shameful that our personal information is being dumped out into public view. OnlyFans is public. I mean, it's paywalled, but still, she put it out there. This isn't like someone hacked into her personal life. That would be very different. But that's not the case. In 2022, a rookie cop in Detroit landed in hot water after her pornographic OnlyFans sparked a probe in more ways than one. She was suspended, then resigned. The NYPD's officers' behavior is under internal review, I'll bet, a spokeswoman said. Well, okay, so there you go. She's probably done as far as the job goes, but this could be a great boost to her OnlyFans career, for a while anyway, as long as her, while she's young, And she could prance around in police officer-themed costumes, lingerie, have a badge strategically placed here and there. Stuff like that. And that'll be, probably a profitable hobby for a while. So there's that.
This has been a Nailsin News Bulletin.
This is a Nailsin News Bulletin. Man who drove nearly 40 miles with body of legless pedestrian upside down in the passenger seat learns his fate. Wow. A Texas man who slammed into a pedestrian, causing the victim to fly through the windshield before driving nearly 40 miles with the body next to him, is headed to prison. Nestor Lujan Flores was sentenced to 15 years behind bars after he pled guilty to intoxication manslaughter and collision involving death. Lujan Flores, then 31, was driving on December 16, 2023, along the westbound I-30 service road in Dallas when he hit the pedestrian. Evidence showed the impact was so severe, the victim was thrown into the vehicle. Portions of the victim's remains were later recovered at the crash site. An arrest affidavit obtained by local ABC affiliate WFAA said the body was found upside down in the seat with the victim's head on the floorboard and his legs missing. There we go. I don't know what happened there. There was one more story after the, OnlyFans cop, but ain't happening. I don't know how that happened. Then I had to refresh the page, so all the chat's gone. It's just great. So there we go. There's your Nailsin News story. The last one, I did read that on Pat's show. It's the woman who stole the tumbler for her breast milk. And that's all that was. So there we go. There's Nailsin News. And hopefully I'll be able to deliver a Nailsin Ratings Live later tonight. I don't know. We'll see. It's all very iffy. But nevertheless, there you go. Got a teacher sex scandal. Got that. That stupid idiot's going to stay married to that girl. But you saw his slippers? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. There was the story about the corrupt politician who, I don't know, probably is banging that guy. That's not nice, but I don't know. They didn't really seem to have much else on as far as all the corruption and whatnot. Probably some of that, but how big of a deal is it? I don't know, but it's not a good look to be running around on your husband with some employee. Anyway, there was that one, and then of course the usual murderers and whatnot and creeps. And I could have sworn that was an update story. That first one with the guy in the upside down dude in his windshield, smashed through his windshield and left his legs at the site, and then pulled into a Jack-in-the-Box and passed out. I thought I had an animal. The dude's upside in the passenger seat right next to you, I was really drunk. And, of course, he had a record. What for? Yeah, that's right. Drunk driving. So, that was something. But it's so familiar. I'm pretty sure I did. I just couldn't find it in my files and all that. And, okay, I was a little lazy and didn't really do much looking for it. But it's a lot of stuff to cover, So, anyway, that's his sentence and all that. So, hey, what a great collection of tales of really messed up people, Well, there you go.
Nailsin news, and there'll be more sometime in the future. But thanks for watching and visiting with your old pal, Mr. Nailsin. And we'll do it again soon. You know, there'll be others. One would hope there wouldn't be, because, you know, they're terrible stories. But yes, there will be. And no super tips. So it was all for nothing. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Well, all that work. All that work. Took a long time. Yes. Oh, geez, I'm forgetting. I gotta, well, since I didn't get any super tips, let's try the comic books, you know. Here it is. Let me get that in the proper position. And, here we are in the Rumble Studio. And that should do it. Is it? Think? Yes. All right, here we are at Indie Planet. And you go to indieplanet.com/Douglas-Nailsin. Yes, it's just that simple. And then you arrive at the Douglas Nailsin page at Indie Planet. And here you go. Oh boy, look. Comic books by me. Of course, there was Doodleverse Comics. Number 1 featuring Opie, or as I renamed him, Oopsie, at least to avoid any problems that may or may not have occurred. And there he is with, oh look, it's Anthony living rent-free in his head. Of course, all your favorites there. Oh, look, it's Still Toe in April in the good old days. And look, it's Nick. And there's Kevin with Melton floating around, living rent-free in his head. And oh, look, he's got a picture of Pat Dixon where he threw darts at it. Oh, look, it's Gilly and Stevie Lou, which I didn't do a very good Stevie Lou there. Sorry, Stevie. I'm sorry. And then, oh, look, it's Chad. At the time, he had the floating heads of Carl Heberger living rent-free in his head. And he's asking, oh, man, why is life so bad, you know, and stuff. And then there's the floating head of Melton telling him, because you're dumb, nerd. You're dumb. So, see? Yeah. And then there's Stuttering John going on about why won't Kate Meany have sex with me? So there's that. And then here's Still Toe explaining to everybody that he always wins and you never will. Because it's 'tis better to rule in a shithole than to serve in podcast paradise. Yeah. Something like that. Then there's this comic book that I did for a friend at work who wanted to be in a comic book. So there you go. She's in a comic book. There she is flying around. She's crashing into a tree. She meets this rat man. They fight. And then a big secret is revealed. But you'll have to get your copy to find out. Now our big star, Night Knight. Oh, here's Night Knight number 1. And, of course, all the Night Knight stories based on the audio play series Night Knight from the Mr. Nailsin Show podcast on RadioMisfits.com or wherever you get your podcast. So, look, there's Night Knight meeting with his commissioner. And, oh, my goodness, it's based on Pat Dixon. So, there they are arguing about all the crap that Night Knight does. And there's little Boobo, you know, being an idiot. And, oh boy, Pat Dixon, Charles Wetman, that's the name of the character, tells him they got a threatening message from the freezer to Night Knight. And, oh my goodness, how's that going to turn out? Well, you'll have to get the copy to find out. Yeah, he looks pretty upset about it. So then, of course, I follow that with issue number 2. Yeah, that's right. There he is meeting Bullfrog, another villain. Plus, there's a backup feature of Night Knight's early years. See, he used to have a costume like that. He just wasn't all that good at it yet. So, you get that. There's Bullfrog and his tadpole gang. And there's Night Night with his mask off. Oh my goodness, he's all upset. There's his general manager of his nightclub called Club Night. There's the secret night cave, which is the Knight's lair. There's his night cruiser in the background and all that stuff. There's Boo-Bo. And once again, going to talk to Pat Dixon. Oh, I mean Charles Whitman. And says, shut up. Damn it, I'm sick of you and your costume pantyhose crap. And all that. So, yeah, they don't get along, but ultimately they're allies in the cause of justice, you know? Then, of course, Night Night number 3. Once again, based on the audio plays from the Mr. Nailsin Show. Oh, yeah. And there he is battling it out with the pink elephant, his arch nemesis, plus a part 2 of his early years and all that. So, the title is The Death of Night Night, Part 1. Titles tend to be grossly exaggerated. So there's a car chase. He's chasing after Pink Elephant and his gang. And oh no, they shoot up his car and it crashes. But hopefully everything works out. Will it? Well, you'll have to pick up the issue and find out. Oh, it does end on a cliffhanger. Yeah. But you get another chapter of his early years. Finally, we have Sun King. And this is his first issue. And Sun King, also based on audio adventures, featured in the Mr. Nailsin Show podcast on RadioMisfits.com or wherever you get your podcast. Now, this starts off from the beginning, so his whole origin, everything is told. So for his backup, we got Bubba Stargone, and Bubba's whole origin story is told within these pages. So how did that go? Well, you got to get your copy to find out, yeah. There he is, looking to get a job. He's going to turn into Sun King to go get the story. Here's this lynch mob shows up. Sun King's got to stop him. So he bursts this energy out of his belt buckle and zaps him, you know. Oh, how's that going to turn out? Well, you know the drill. You got to head over to indieplanet.com/Douglas-Nelson and look it up. Or you can just punch in Sun King in their search, you know, or Night Night, whatever. And, you know, treat yourself to these lovely comic books written and drawn by yours truly. Currently working on Doodleverse Comics number 2. Also Sun King number 2. And Night Night number 4. That's right. Yeah. So, I'll be teasing those as we go. Yeah. So, have fun with that. And when you do, you help out your old pal, Mr. Nailsin. Did I get any super tips now? No, I didn't. All right, well, there you go. Hey, Thompson, is the Rob Saul segment a series or just one of them? There's a couple of them I did. That's old from when I was on the Rob Saul show. So, all based on a true story. So I put it in there and, for, break segments for the Nailsin News Show. Yeah. Cocteau says, lesbian sex is only pretend sex. So I say, let her grind her knee into her girlfriend's butthole or whatever it is lesbians do. All right. There we go. And on that note, I guess that concludes the show. So that'll have to count for your thought of the day. Oh, look at me. That was Cocteau's idea. I mean, I guess you got to look at me. I'm on the screen. Yeah, I'll figure this out one day. I know I say that every show. I mean, I really mean it. Doesn't mean I'll achieve it. So, that's fair. Anyway, thanks for watching. and we'll get together again soon. Have a good, well, not a night. Have a good rest of your day. Me, I'm going to go take some NyQuil. No, I'm not sick. I'm just going to use it to knock me out. I got to get my sleep schedule back on, schedule. Yeah, it's all messed up. I'm punch drunk from lack of sleep. That's why I'm going to do the NyQuil. Anyway, like I said, talk to you later.
Killers, killing it, killing it, killing it, killing it. Nailsin News. News. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. News.
Please wrap up.
Look at me!
Okay, we're all done here.
Fucking
Hey,
pathetic!
no, we're all done. Come on.